Hey everybody, April here with Cannabis Care Team. So today I am going to be doing an interview with Brenda McClanahan. We're actually down at Happy Rock Farm, so thank you Happy Rock for hosting us today. But I met Brenda just a few weeks ago and she had such an inspiring story that I want to share with everyone. Brenda was dealing with the sick care system for a long time and finally, advocated for herself and is living a much better, much healthier life. So I want Brenda to share a story. So go ahead, Brenda. Talk to us about what you've gone through and how you got here.
Well, my journey pretty much started from when I was little. I had a lot of problems with allergies and being sick, and the doctors had no idea what was wrong with me, of course. They tried me on lots of different medications throughout my life, way too many antibiotics, steroids. And then when I started through puberty, I started having seizures. So that added to the list. And they had no idea what was going on. And finally, when I was about 17, I went to a neurologist at KU. And he did a full workup. And they found that I had a hormonal imbalance. And then their recommendation was to my parents that I should have a hysterectomy.
At 17?
At 17. And my parents said, no. We'll figure out what we're going to do. So we started with acupuncture. That was the first thing after being on 600 milligrams of Dilantin and having tons of really hard seizures. We decided to try acupuncture, and acupuncture actually worked. No medications. So that was really probably the first time that I hadn't been on medicine most of my life. Yeah, it was crazy. So my life from there was just being bounced around through the sick care system. They never really knew what was wrong. They just prescribe you something and send you on your way. So,
how many medications do you think you've been prescribed over the years?
Oh, wow. I would say that would be really hard to count, because when I was having seizures, they tried me on lots. Plus fluid pills and things like that. That was on, there was one medication that was for weight loss that caused like heart problems. They had me on that. Was that Fin, I think? They had me on, I've been on a lot of medication.
Yeah. How many do you take now?
None.
Wow.
I'm off completely.
And so you told me before that you had been on blood pressure medications, antidepressants.
Yes.
And all of it was really related to what was going on in your body.
Yeah.
So,
and for me, once I got to a point where I was almost 50 years old, I was like, I am 230 pounds. I don't want my life to go the way my dad did. My dad has diabetes. Really bad. So he has been my inspiration. He has kidney disease. So
diabetes is no joke. I used to work in the emergency room down at Research Medical Center, and diabetes was honestly the reason why so many of those patients end up in there. And, just to see so many of them, really honestly getting almost everything amputated, and they had never been taught how to care for themselves. They'd only been taught, these are the pills or these are the shots you need to take. And they were always wanting to help themselves, but they just didn't have the tools because the physicians that they'd worked with had never really been able to take the time to teach them. So they
don't know themselves.
True.
Honestly. They're pharmaceutical doctors.
So talk to me about your gut, because gut health is really, I think, where kind of everything starts, and is so important. So what are you doing today to take care of your gut?
Well, I'm actually on a regimen that really has probably helped me the most with leaky gut, because I have leaky gut. I have a histamine problem, so I would have never found that out in the sick care system, because they constantly just write you a prescription and send you on your way. But after reading a book from Dr. Becky Campbell.
Mhm.
She has a histamine diet and a histamine reset diet. So I take.
Do you have the book there? Can we see it? Awesome.
Yes.
I mean, so the anti-inflammatory diet is something that I talk to a lot of patients about. I think 80% of the conditions that make us sick are really related to inflammation. So that diet is huge. But I'm not familiar with this one. So this is very, very cool. It says getting to the root of migraines, eczema, vertigo, allergies, and more. And absolutely, I mean, I know so many women I talk to on a daily basis who experience one of those.
Yes. So after I've had sinus surgery, I had my tonsils out at 38 years old. I had one abscessed. All of it was histamine related and never even caught it. The doctor had no idea. So my gut has been the main focus because, as we know, that's your communicator. And when you're eating processed foods that are not good for you, you're tearing up your gut. So healing it is what you have to do. So I eliminated high histamine foods and I started educating myself on what are low histamine foods. And then I started meditating, taking time to just calm myself. Your stress is so hard on your body, especially your gut. So probiotics, and there's probiotics out there. There are so many out there. So do your education. But there are some for people that do have allergies or histamine problems. So you want to make sure that you find you one that's good because sometimes the other probiotics have bad bacteria in it that are not good for you if you have a high histamine problem. So
I never knew that.
Yeah. And then I do stinging nettles, which is a tea, and that also is very good for your gut. I do DAO, which is an enzyme, which helps to repair when you, again, are eating a high histamine diet. That part of your gut kind of gets killed a little bit. So this helps to activate that enzyme to help you digest your food.
Wow.
And heal your leaky gut. I also take vitamin B6, which is very important. Vitamin D, which is extremely important, especially right now with COVID.
Yes.
We need our immune system to be able to fight off these things. And if we're not taking good care of our body, it's not going to be taking good care of us.
Yeah, vitamin D, I think, is definitely important for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And now, I mean, it's a nice sunny day, right?
Yeah.
And I tend to, spend a lot of time outside. But, wintertime is coming around, and I worry because people need to make sure that they are taking a vitamin D supplement because when you're bundled up in a coat and you walk outside and you have sunscreen on, you're not getting any vitamin D.
No, you're not getting it. So, taking it and supplementing with it sometimes is necessary. L-glutamine is another very important addition to my diet that has helped my gut a lot. Again, there are books out there that give you the information, but it's probably best if you can try to find a doctor, a holistic doctor or something just to make sure that you're taking the right amount of what you need for your body.
Right. And so do they do lab work that helps you determine? Okay.
Yeah. And in Dr. Becky Campbell's book, she talks about all of the lab work that she suggests that you give to your doctor to do so that they can help figure out what's going on.
Well, that's great. So do you have a holistic doctor that you're working with now?
Yeah, okay. I really want to find
one. All right,
one.
I was going to ask.
I want one so bad.
There are a couple more holistic physicians that I know, and there's a couple that actually work specifically with women. I'm at that age that they call it perimenopausal, so you have to be on top of that and make sure you're giving your body what it needs, so you don't experience side effects of that phase of our lives. So, but we definitely do need more holistic practitioners, especially we're in Missouri, and I know that there's a lot on the coast. So if anyone knows any, send us their names, of course. But and so many of my patients, they don't have the resources. They don't know where to go. It's that, I think they call it like white coat syndrome, where, and everyone in my family, the older people in my family have experienced this. Well, if the doctor says that's what I need to do, I need to do that. And absolutely, I think everyone needs to work with their physician to figure out what works best for them. But physicians are really told or taught in school most of the time that you fix people with surgery or medication. Most medical schools don't even provide a class on nutrition. And that's, they're not getting a lot of that education that they could be passing on to their patients that could really make a huge difference in their lives, because we know, like you said, stress affects everything in our bodies. I mean, we know that people who experience a lot of stress have more heart attacks, have more cancer, have more strokes. I mean, everything. And, it's just a really frustrating system when I'm talking to people every day who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So you have really advocated for yourself, and you're healthy now. You feel good.
I feel better than I've ever felt in my entire life. And that includes my childhood, which should have been great, but it wasn't. But we didn't. Now that we know better, we can do better. And knowing that these processed foods are not good for you, don't eat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eat whole, healthy foods.
Yes. And I know that it's, a lot of times really convenient to go grab some processed foods, right? But I think that, I want to live as long as I can, right? And so if I have to take a couple hours out of a Sunday to prepare whole food meals throughout the week, then that's what I need to do to keep my family healthy and keep myself healthy. It does take a little bit of work, but it gets easier.
Worth it?
Yes, absolutely.
You're worth it. So,
when you think about how much time we spend doing like unhealthy things, we need to take a little bit more care of ourselves, I believe. So, you've shared some awesome tips with us when it comes to the supplements you're taking. And you have shared how important that gut health is. And leaky gut, if you haven't read much about that, definitely look it up. There's a large percentage of people who do suffer with leaky gut, and it really affects like every system in your body.
Yes.
But I think, thank you so much for sharing. And I know that I'm sure you could probably talk for hours about, what you've been through, but I just was so inspired by your story. And you had told me a little bit about how you were feeling years ago and how wonderful you're feeling now. And it was because you took charge of your health.
I did.
And you weren't relying on people to tell you, you weren't relying on pharmaceuticals and physicians telling you what to do, because, honestly, that system had failed you.
It did.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. And if anyone has questions for Brenda about, her diet or any of the supplements, just feel free to reach out to nurse@cannabiscareteam.com. If you have questions about your diet, we actually do work with a registered dietitian, Dawn Privet, who is very good at helping people find the things that they need to eliminate in their diet. So we can always get people connected with her at cannabiscareteam.com. Thank you again so much. And thank you everybody for watching. And if you know of any other inspiring stories that you'd like to see videos made of, send those our way as well. Bye everybody.
Bye.